Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Donald Trump is single-handedly driving this economy off a cliff. With no evidence to back him up, he's claimed emergency authorities to slap new tariffs on nearly every product we import from nearly every country. But Congress has the power to reverse these tariffs, and we should do so immediately. Tariffs can be a tool to help build things in America, but Trump has slapped tariffs on, then off again with no rhyme or reason. And the uncertainty about the long-term rules makes companies far less likely to invest in manufacturing or jobs here in the United States. If Congress doesn't stand up to Trump, economists predict a recession before the end of the year. And Fed Chair Jerome Powell says we're in a real danger of, quote, both higher unemployment and higher inflation. Translation, Trump's tariffs will push millions of workers out of jobs and push prices up at the same time. So, Ambassador Greer, we've heard a lot of conflicting statements about whether these tariffs are here to stay, how many more rounds of on-off we're going to do. So let me ask the question from a different perspective. Ambassador Greer, we lost 700,000 jobs each month in the last recession. If 700,000 Americans lose their jobs, will the Trump administration suspend these tariffs?
Senator, I think the economists who are making these projections, who often are in favor of fully unfettered free trade, are the same ones who said in the first Trump term that putting tariffs on something that's going to happen.
Let me just stop you there. I'm not asking about projections. I'm asking if the numbers show that 700,000 people have lost their jobs because of these new tariffs that Trump has slapped on. Will the administration reverse course and lift those tariffs?
Senator, that's not going to happen. We've lost 5 million manufacturing jobs over the years, which is the number I'm most worried about, and we have to get those jobs back.
So I take that as a no. Let me try another one. Moody's says that if the Trump tariffs remain in place, we will definitely plunge into a recession, which will ultimately cost 3.5 million Americans their jobs. So, Ambassador Greer, if Trump's tariffs push 3.5 million people out of work, will the Trump administration reverse course and lift those tariffs?
Senator, the Wall Street analysts are wrong. They never want to have any kind of change to the status quo.
Right or
but that's who you're quoting to me,
Senator.
Senator.
I'm giving you a number. If the number is 3.5 million, if it never comes to pass, you don't have to worry about your answer. But if 3.5 million people lose their jobs because of these tariffs, is the Trump administration prepared to lift them?
Right now, this minute, we're working on negotiations with countries who believe they can achieve reciprocity with us and get their trade deficit down. And that's the emergency we're focused on. There's not going to be a situation where years from now we've lost millions of jobs.
Let me try one more time. If Trump tariffs push workers out of their jobs and raise prices, as Fed Chair Powell has predicted, will you reverse course then?
I think also with respect to Chairman Powell, who I don't know personally, but I know the president makes decisions on trade, and he rarely takes advice from Chairman Powell on this. We found in Trump 1 that you could put tariffs on China and you could make it work and have lower income, lower unemployment, lower inflation, and increase real median household income over time as we reshore. And that's what we have to do, Senator.
What I'm hearing you say is that no one can hear a rhyme or reason to why the tariffs are off again, on again, off again, on again. But what you're telling us is the fact that hundreds of thousands, even millions of people could lose their jobs and that prices could go up will not be a factor for you or for Donald Trump for rolling those tariffs back. Look, if Republicans are serious about protecting American jobs and fighting inflation, then they can join Democrats right now to pass a resolution to fix Trump's reckless tariffs. This economy is teetering on the edge of collapse. We have the power right here in the Senate and over in the House of Representatives to take this authority away from Donald Trump. We can get this voted on. Senator Wyden and I have already are about to introduce the bill to do that. And if Republicans are serious about not playing the red light, green light with tariffs, but instead about protecting our economy, our families, our jobs, and keeping prices low, then Republicans should join us on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Welch.
Thank you. You know, there's a place for tariffs on China. Targeted tariffs make some sense. What is being rolled out and the way this is being done is so destructive and so reckless and so irresponsible
Senator Lujan.
that it's creating nothing but economic chaos.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for holding this hearing. Now, Mr. Greer, it's been less than a week since President Trump started this, what I'll describe as a reckless tariff war. It certainly feels that way. Families are seeing higher costs. Businesses across the country are hurting, and we've seen one of the worst drops in the stock market in over 35 years. Do you believe that there's currently higher costs a week after the president put these tariffs into place?
Senator, we haven't yet seen how those costs are going to be allocated between the foreign producers and their importers here. We haven't seen the data on that yet.
Do you believe businesses are hurting a week after President Trump put these tariffs into place?
I've heard from a lot of businesses. Some of them are excited about the prospects. Some are concerned because they're import dependent instead of U.S. product dependent. So I know there are varying views on this.
Let me ask this question, because this one's based completely on fact, on something I think you look at every day. You probably have some of these numbers in your phone that I'm guessing might be in your pocket. Have we seen one of the worst drops in the stock market in over 35 years?
We've certainly seen volatility.
Have we seen one of the worst drops in the stock market in over 35 years?
I think, and Senator Warner talked about
We'll move
this.
on. If you don't want,
well, I know everyone's concerned about Wall Street, and I'm just concerned about Main Street and getting these jobs back.
Okay, let's talk about Main Street, Mr. Greer. Last time you were here, I asked if President Trump's trade war would hurt New Mexico businesses and families. You dodged my question. You told me, quote, I can't guarantee economic outcomes. When I pressed you, you told me that you want me to, quote, you asked me to, quote, hear from me on what the impacts of these tariffs are. Well, Mr. Greer, I'm here to tell you today, New Mexicans are hurting. I understand why you would not guarantee that New Mexicans wouldn't be hurt, because you probably knew what I thought then that we now see today, that this is hurting people back home. Now, I want to ask you the same question again. Yes or no, will President Trump's tariffs harm New Mexican businesses and families?
Senator, I just don't think they will. Right now, you have duty-free trade with Canada and Mexico, where they comply with the rules, where they have U.S., Mexican, and American content. I mean, this is designed, and I would hope that being a border state, this is something that you find valuable, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to incentivize production in the United States. We want North America to be competitive, and this is. We can't have the status quo. We have to have a situation where we have manufacturing here, where we have foreign market access for our producers, and we want New Mexico families and companies and communities to prosper.
Mr. Greer, do you agree with President Trump that families are going to have to feel a little pain?
I'm not going to speak for the president.
I didn't ask for you to speak for him. I know none of you have the courage to stand up to him. What I'm asking you, Mr. Greer, is do you agree with what the president said about these tariffs, in that people are going to have to feel a little pain? That's my question.
If we have companies that feel pain because they're adjusting their supply chains, have more American product made by American workers, that's an adjustment we have to make to prepare for the future. We can't keep doing the same thing we always did. And if companies are having trouble adjusting their supply chains, which I'm very sensitive to, this is something that we have to deal with. We can't do nothing for 4 years like we saw under Biden, where there was just nothing going on trade.
Let me ask the question a little differently. Yes or no? Do you agree with President Trump when he said families are going to have to feel a little pain?
Of course, I agree with the president.
Thank you very much.
But I expect that the jobs we see for manufacturing is going to far outweigh
short on time, sir. So look, economists are predicting that Trump's trade war is going to cost American families about $4,000 per year. I disagree with your assessment now, and agreeing with Donald Trump that families should feel pain. When I asked you about the economic impact of families back home, you said, no, they're going to do great. Things are going to be wonderful. New Mexico should be appreciative of all these things. I guess pain is the kind of relief that you believe that families should be going through. I mean, it is what it is. As I've been saying to my colleagues here, I understand the outcome of this last election. Donald Trump is now the president of the United States. He won the election. My Republican colleagues in the Senate won the election. They control the votes in this chamber. They control the votes in the House. That's why we're seeing these budget resolutions. All I'm saying is own up to what you want to do. You want to do it. Just be honest with the American people about what's going on. I appreciate the time today, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
The same economists who are crying out now were the ones who said we were going to crash the economy in Trump 1. We put tariffs on China, and real median household income went up for Americans by $7,000. Inflation went down, unemployment went down. So we have history showing that we know how to use this.
Mr. Chairman, since Mr. Greer went on, I will just follow up again. Then help explain the pain that people are feeling today with your assessment of what Donald Trump said, that families should feel some pain. That's all okay with you all?
Senator, we're not going to be in a situation where we keep allowing Wall Street to run the economy. And as we're making that transition, companies
you know what, Mr. Greer,
will need to adjust.
Go spend a little time at the grocery store talking to some of my constituents back home. I'll take you around. We'll walk around. We're not going to give anyone a heads up. You just go do it. And let's see what the regular folks back home are doing, including the people that come and talk to me that say they voted for this president. This is not what they stand up for. Farmers and ranchers are getting the short end of the stick from USDA, where these grants are being cut, and they say, oh, no, it's because we don't want to give people food. Baloney. You're cutting the lifeline for these farmers and ranchers as well, in addition to what's happening with these inputs with tariffs. Look, you all are a lot smarter than I. I'm just a regular person back home. I'm one of them.
Senator Warnock.
That's the difference between you and I, sir.
Senator Warnock.
Thank you very much, Brother Chair. Since President Trump announced his tariffs last week,